So since I'm coming up on my appointment, which will be it'll be a year since I've seen my neurologist. My appointment is on Wednesday. I thought I would give an update on what's been going on. For one thing, in my personal life, I have taken on a new job, which I guess is kind of risky, maybe with my condition. But I really felt I needed a change and a new start. So I started that in May, and it's gone really good so far. I'm happy that I made the change, and so that's been good. As far as the Parkinson's, a couple of months ago, or 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I really felt great. And I still feel pretty good. For really looking at the past year from when my last appointment was, I think I have gotten a little slightly maybe worse in some symptoms, but really overall, looking at it for entire year, I really don't think it's progress that bad. I still have trouble sleeping. Sleeping is the joke. It's like I lay down to sleep, and every hour and a half or 2 hours I get up. Every night. I've tried everything. I've tried Z-Quil, melatonin, even cannabis, Delta-8 cannabis. That helps slightly, but nothing that wasn't a miracle. I soak in a bubble bath once in a while, before I sleep, just to see if that can kind of put me under. There are random nights where I can get, at least sleep at, 3 and 4 hour increments, but really it's just, that has gotten no better. My walking is still way better than it was, before I, went in, and before they put me on levodopa. I'm still walking a lot better. Tremoring, the tremors have gotten, I would say, slightly worse. There's even times where if I'm sitting down, my right arm will tremor, which it wasn't doing that before. Usually, first time when that first started, it was just when I would be standing up and my hands at the side, and then it would kind of tremor then. It's still like during the day though. Because my job, I'm very active, and so it really doesn't tremor too much then. But there just seems to be a little more, times, random times that I do feel that tremor, and even like my head. At certain times, like I almost feel slight tremoring, but maybe I'm looking at things too closely. I don't know. My hands, I still get those tremors. That was really the first tremors that we my neurologist found, or the tongue tremors. That thing's still there. I check that once in a while. I even put a video here a few days ago or a week ago. And it really gets going, but overall, I wouldn't say I'm excited for my appointment, but I'm just really curious as hell as to what she's gonna say, after my assessment. I would highly doubt she'd send me away for another year. But maybe she will. I'm all for it. One appointment a year is not bad. As far as my daily regimen. I mean, I'm still at 9 pills per day. I, still work out daily, 7 days a week. I just think exercise is really, really important in, slowing this thing down. And with my new job, the hours have changed, so I'm working like 11 to 7:30, which is kind of cool because in the morning I can have a little more time and I can get go for a walk, have plenty of time to get the workout in, cool down, kind of chill after the workout. So that's kind of nice. Other than that, really not a whole lot to, report. I will say that in February, about a week before my birthday, I had a really unusual thing happen. It was a Tuesday night. It was a typical night, and went to bed at 10 o'clock or whatever. Just watching I think I just watched an episode of Ozark. Woke up at about 11:30, which is not unusual. But I noticed my eyes felt like they were twitching. It was a really weird feeling, and so I turned over, on the other side to the other side, and then it kind of felt like the room was spinning, and I'm like, well, what the hell? I mean, I thought maybe I was gonna, get sick. So I sat up and I was gonna, get up to maybe splash some water on my face or get a drink of water, and my legs were, I couldn't move them barely, and my balance was, I had no balance. It's like, it was almost like I had gone out for a night of binge drinking on a night on the town, which that definitely didn't happen. So I made it to my bathroom, and then I just noticed my mouth, my tongue was numb. I tried to say something, and my speech was really slurred. And then it kind of hit me. I thought I was having a stroke. So I called 911. First time I've ever had to do that. And again, I couldn't walk. In my building's a secure, building, and the 911 operator was, how can we get up to your apartment? And I was like, well, you just have to, buzz me. And she's like, well, what's your number? And I couldn't remember my number on the keypad. So when you go into the entryway, you'll type, for my number now, it's 32. But I couldn't remember, and so when the ambulance came, since I couldn't remember and I couldn't go down and look at it, I had to basically try to get down to the elevator, which I couldn't walk. It was just a really weird thing, and thankfully a neighbor saw me, and because I was trying to walk, and then she went down and let the rescue squad drivers in, because I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have. Not that I would have died, but I couldn't walk. I couldn't. So they took me to UNMC, and the night was really cloudy, so I really don't remember everything. I remember going to the ER, and they were asking me, what happened or my symptoms, and I was trying to explain it, and I don't think I did a great job, but in my defense, this is like 1:30 or 2 in the morning at this point. So they gave me a head scan to check for stroke, and usually those things do not bother me. This one did. The noise, everything All the MRIs I've had, I had no problem with them. I laid in that tube. I mean, I was a master at it. That night, no, couldn't do it. But I did get through it, and ultimately, I didn't get the results at that point. So I think they took me to a room off the ER, and then I was talking to a neurologist, I believe, and then my whole body was tremoring. I mean, it was all four limbs, and I have never. I mean, I've tremored it. I've had leg tremors. I do get a tremor in the right arm, get them in the hands, but never had I had an episode like that, where all of it. Some of it could have been anxiety. I don't know. So I think they gave me something. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the notes. And I couldn't sleep. So I basically was laying there, and man, I was just like, at that point, I still thought I had a stroke of some kind. And I was like, I really thought I didn't know if I was going to be able to walk after all this. I mean, I thought maybe that's the way it is, but I kept moving my legs. So I was able to move them, so I knew I wasn't paralyzed. Anyway, about 3:30 or 4 o'clock, I kind of started coming out of it a little bit, like feeling a little, because I remember I had a coworker at the time that started, he would go in at 5 o'clock and in the morning. So I'm like, well, he's probably up. And I texted him. So I was getting my bearings back, and I texted him. I was like, look, I'm not going to be in. Told him I'm in the hospital and blah, blah, blah. And then half hour after that, I didn't want to call my mom. I knew that, because as much as she worries. But I texted my brother, and of course he's awesome. And came up to the hospital. I think he got there 8:30 or so, because I mean you really couldn't have visitors up until, like, I think it was 8 o'clock or 7:30 or something, or else he would have been up there earlier. And they kept me for I think until noon or so, but until then. So my brother went back home, and he told me just give him a call when he thinks they were going to release me. Had a physical therapist come in and, had me walk down a hallway, which at that time, I was able to walk. So I was like, okay, at least I'm going to be able to walk still. It was bad though. My foot, the dystonia was really acting up. They'd given me the levodopa, thank goodness. I didn't have my pills on me. They gave me the Cinnamate, actually. That's like the brand name. So I was still taking my levodopa. I think I probably missed a dose, though, somewhere in there. And finally, the neurology team came in. My brother, because I texted my brother, said that they're going to release me probably within an hour or so. The neurology team came in, and they really couldn't tell me what happened. They did rule out a stroke. Thank God. The scan was fine. The best answer they gave me was that I had a sudden random ataxia attack. They couldn't tell me why. They did say that because you have, neurological issues, that maybe you're more, prone to it. Thank God nothing like that has happened since, and I hope it never happens again. The closest thing I have had to it is there have been like 2 mornings since then where when I first get up in the morning, my legs are they're like concrete, man. But once I get up and start, I walk a little bit, and then I'll take my levodopa, and then I'm like able to, half hour later get up or do my exercises, go about my day. And it only happened twice. Typical mornings, yeah, I'm stiff. I get rigid in my back, the upper shoulders, neck, and when my levodopa is wearing off, on a dose, I'll start to feel rigid in the back and shoulders and legs, but not like the couple of mornings I was talking about. Just the legs, barely move them. Anyway, okay, I'm kind of rambling, so I want to end this here. My appointment's on Wednesday, 11:30 or 11 o'clock, and like I said, I look forward to seeing what my neurologist says about all the things that have happened since I have seen her and what she thinks after giving me an assessment. So when that's done, I'll probably get on in maybe not the first week, or but within a couple of weeks I'll get back on here and kind of tell you what happened during the appointment. And until then, I mean, if you are watching this, or if you've seen my other little videos on here, feel free to comment. I'd like to kind of see who watches these. I've been getting a few more views lately, and I got one more subscriber, so that's kind of cool. So until then, take care, and we'll see you next time.